One of the things that I like about this house is it's basically a very, very simple, ordinary little house. But we did some things with the kitchen, but also with the trim elements to make it feel like a more gracious, luxurious house. And the trim here is a good example of that. And you can see here it creates kind of a division here. These pieces here, I'm going to have to pull this back, but they're a little bit bigger than they have to be. We've spent a lot of time mocking up these different corners to make them look the way we thought would be the nicest. So we put a lot of thought into exactly, how we did these curtain rods to try to make the trim be as nice as you'd have in any house. So we put a lot of thought into how we do it. And up here we've got, this little kind of wainscoting. It kind of calls attention to the light up above and creates kind of an area of intimacy below it where the wall is darker. It's a theme. It ties the whole place together. Over here, you can see these trim elements kind of morph into different versions of themselves. The porches, in a way, are a very important part of the design because they really extend the house outward. The porch is cheap space, but it makes the house feel bigger. And it also creates a lot of visual interest. If it were just a box, it would just look like a box, but you had a porch here and a dormer here and another little porch here and a shed here and a fence here, and all of a sudden your box is architecture. So the porch is an important part of the whole composition, and it's also very, very useful. Over here we've got the walkout, which is also very simple, but this gives us another 500 square feet of lit, reasonably well-lit living space facing the afternoon sun is over here and the morning sun is there. And just in terms of detailing, one of our big savings, what we wanted to show you, was this siding, which is local pine boards that we took to a local sawmill, and they took 1x8s and ripped them diagonally with a bandsaw, kind of siding that's very inexpensive and local, but much cheaper than many of the options that we looked at, such as modern clapboards, quarter-sawn clapboards, or shingles. This is something that went up very fast, was affordable, and looked pretty good, and looks Vermont-y in some way. These folks here in this house that we're in right now wanted a house, and they didn't have a lot of money, so they were open to thinking about how to use their resources efficiently. I think it's great to work for people who have some economic constraints because I think the results come out better. If you're trying to do something affordable, it's got to be relatively simple, or you've got to have a lot of time on your hands to do it yourself. One of our big savings was this floor, which we got from a local sawmill, some 1x8 shiplap boards. They look okay. They look like a nice old point floor, but because they're 7/8 instead of 3/4, they're strong enough. So for now, that's the finished floor too. So we did a job. We sanded them and varnished them. And then 10 years down the road, the family can put in oak flooring or some other material on top, or they can just say, well, this is okay. We wanted a high ceiling, but we didn't want to pay for it. So we just have ordinary rafters, and we have a collar tie, and the sheetrock just goes up and follows those collar ties, and we get our 10-foot ceiling. But we haven't paid anything for it.